Hey guys, it's Joe B. Saturday here, weekends with Tamco. I just sprayed the 5310. The job that I'm most excited about is the rear deck lid. I did the bottom, and everything came out really clean. This was the first large piece that I sprayed after I set the gun and filled it up. Everything looked very solid. This is practice. I practiced on the bottom of the deck lid just to make sure that I had everything tuned in and looking nice. I mean, there's a couple of small spots. Let's see, like right here, you can see a couple of little blots. I'll have to sand those down. But the Tamco itself filled everything really clean. Here's the passenger door. I didn't do the inside. A couple of reasons. A, there's a bunch of factory tar here from when they originally did the car. And B, there's a couple of spots here where the original grabber blue color shows through. So I kind of wanted to leave that as a tribute. That way I could someday or at some point show the car's original coloring. But everything here filled in really clean. All of this, all along here, looked really nice. And here along the bottom, very good. This is only, I'd say, 2 coats and a couple of touch-up spots. The 2 coats. But I was spraying really thick, you know. Go full gun, trigger down. I'm going about this fast. And while I'm spraying, I'm watching the material lay on so that it doesn't look like overspray, it doesn't look dry. I stay on my target just long enough so that it completely fills into that light layer of wet. Tamco keeps you wet, right? And then here I just did a quick coat on these end caps because there were a few spots that I had sanded down. So these end caps are an example of how I want it to look in the end. There were a couple of spots where I deliberately ran it. Right here, there were some spots where the original paint had cracked through, so I sanded them all down and then I filled it in because this 5310 is supposed to build, so I used it to build. Over here is the other end cap. Looks really clean. This is the rear lower valence. The thing originally had a ton of dents, and I did a lot of filler work here and around this circle, and over here. I was just deliberately running it really thick, and you can see a few wrinkles. So I will be sanding those down to clean those up, but I needed the whole thing to fill in so that I could finish it up. Let's see, the springs for the rear deck lid, I just put a light coat of 5310 on that to lock everything down because I had just sanded them and media blasted them. So those are all clean with just a very light coat. This was the last piece I sprayed, which I suppose it should have been the first piece once I got everything dialed in, but it's the front passenger fender. Everything started to go pretty good, but up here when I started, my gun got clogged and it started to spit, so I was just pushing really hard. Then I noticed that the top of the cup was closed, so it wasn't coming out, and I ended up with a couple of little dots right here where I dripped. I was trying to get the top back on. But ultimately, everything is really nice. Some spots aren't laying on perfectly, but everything will sand out just fine. The parts that I'm concerned with that need the work are here, and then over here where I had done all that filler work. I have to make sure that that's sanded correctly once everything dries out. And I've got a little run over here, but that's just on the front. All of this is going to be, let's take a quick peek. All this is going to be covered with the front headlight bucket, and so the headlight goes here, and the cup goes here, and the front end cap comes on here, and those are all clean. But finally, once I got my issues sorted out, this is what was an example of how it was looking, and everything was a lot cleaner. There's a couple of wrinkles here where I started to get crazy with the pressure and I was too close. Down here I saw a couple of spots and I didn't want to have to bust out the filler, so I just started running it like crazy. A little bit of a run there, but I got it filled in. So everything smells really nice. Really nice and clean. Weekends with Tamco, guys. Getting everything sprayed out. Hope you like my painting horse over there, the old cabinet. You do what you gotta do, right? This is Joe B with the pieces for the Mach 1, just spraying the Tamco. Nice day, it's about 80 degrees. Yeah, you know, the other thing is I started at about 25 psi. 25 psi or so with a 1.8 tip. you guys are going to freak out when you see it. I'm spraying this with the Harbor Freight $10 gun. The $10 gun comes with a 1.4, but I grabbed the other kit for 40 bucks that had the two guns in it. There's my pressure, there's my air, or my water cleaner. And I put the 1.8 on there. I reduced the Tamco 10%, so I've got a 4.1 with 10% reducer on there to help it spray through the 1.8, and it's going on pretty well. Ultimately, when I do the base and the clear, I'll do it with the Warwick, but the Harbor Freight Crumb gun is not doing so bad, other than getting stuck and the cup leaking. Well, it's been an adventure. This is Joe B with the Mach 1 panels, and we'll see you soon.